So this is the bedroom of the parents, and it's, like I said, this dollhouse is very deep. Sometime I'm going to show you a video too of the actual dollhouse and the maker and all this. I do have a link in the description that I did do of it before, so I'll put that in there if you're interested in seeing it. So I'm going to go back into here and show you the curtains real quick. And these were custom made, and I'll put in a link in the description who did this. And she also did a lot of the beds in the house. There is a door here, and it leads out to the patio that is under the turret and in the corner of the house. The wallpaper was in the house when I had purchased the home. All the wallpaper was already done, and the floors are absolutely gorgeous in this dollhouse. This is one reason I wanted it, because you never can really see floors like this in a dollhouse. They're inlaid floors, and they were built when the dollhouse was built, so they weren't placed over a board. They were just inlaid like real hardwood floors would be. And this is a plaque of the man that actually made the dollhouse, and it's called the Nap House. That's why the plaque is here, in honor of him and the architect that did this. And he actually was an architect of real homes too. That's how he learned how to do what he did in this house. And he also made a lot of other dollhouses. Now this house, because it is used and it wasn't mine originally, I had taken something off the wall here that I didn't like. And I don't know if I'm going to replace something over it or just leave it like it is. Just like in a real house, sometimes you have things like this that happen. So for the character of it, I might just leave it. And of course there's a railing here, and then the stairs go down. And I hung this light here. It's like a lantern. And then in the window I have a hurricane light. And this is like a hurricane lantern. Over here is a hurricane light. And it gives a lot of lighting in here, especially at night. It looks really cool. And during the day I get a lot of natural light too in here from the window in back of me. And as you can see, the ceilings is kind of like a B-board and an alcove at the very back of this. Now I'm going to show you the furniture I'm going to put in here, and then after that you'll see the finished room. So in this video I have a lot to show you, because there is a lot of little details that go into the bedroom. And the first item I am going to show you is this one. This is a bookcase shelf cabinet, and it has the drawers in the bottom too, and they actually all open, every one. And this goes up if I want it to, but I want it mostly down because it has so many neat things in it. I will put in the link in the description where I got this. And the person that made it made all these items for it. There's papers in here, and everything's loosely in here, so I could take them out if I wanted to. They're not glued down. There's scrolls of paper. There's lots of scrolls and paper in here. It's just unbelievable. And then all these books, but the books are glued down in here so they don't move, which I like because I don't want them all falling out. However, I do have a few that were loose too, so if I want to add to them, I have a couple here. And then I have a few more that I can just lay around the place. And another thing that's neat is there's a fountain pen that came with this, and it's so teeny that I will show it to you up close. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's so little. And I placed that just on the desktop. And then there's the little place that you would put the ink. And it looks like crystal. So this would be the fountain well, I think it's called. It's kind of more a modern looking one. It doesn't look super old, as in, you know, like from the Victorian era. But this house I kind of have the motif more like it's from the 40s. And then there's an envelope here that I'm just going to set like this. And then a postcard. And I'll just put that here. And what's neat about this too is these do shut. And there's glass in the panels. But it's just one sheet of glass. It's not individual panels. However, it's still very neat. And I just like doing it kind of like at an angle or like halfway shut. Next thing I'm going to show you is this really awesome chair. That's a club chair, and it's a leather club chair, or the look of leather, and it looks very worn. The lady that did this no longer does the miniatures anymore. I will put her link in the descriptions of her Etsy shop, but she is closed. And I just love it. So I'm glad I was able to get it before she stopped selling. Even the tufts in here is so detailed. The next item is this table. And this table is called a, I think, smoking table. But what I love about it is my grandpa had one just like it in real life growing up. My uncle has it because it was his daddy, and so he has it. I don't have it in my house, but it just represents that to me. And my memory of it is of my grandpa. And yes, he did smoke, which isn't good to smoke, but you know, I loved my grandpa, so the smell smelled good to me, even though I know he didn't want us to smoke cigarettes either, or pipes or any of that, but it did smell like my grandpa. So when I opened this, I remember there was always matches in it, and I would open it, I could smell it. And even after my grandpa passed away when I was only 16, my grandma, of course, still had it, and she just passed away at 102 in 2019. So it was around in my life for a very long time, just going to her house to see her and smelling the inside that smelled like my grandpa. And on this one, I have a few items. So I have this jar that you would put the tobacco in, and that would be it for the pipe. And here I have an ashtray, and then there's a pipe here. And then I just set the pipe on the ashtray. And my grandpa and my dad used to have a watch that looked just like this one. So it represents my grandpa and my dad to me, this watch. It's kind of a popular looking watch from like the 80s, 70s, and 80s. And that will go by the club table. Next item I want to show you is this radio that I got on eBay. And I like it because it has this wire in the back, and the wire looks like it has a plug. It's really teeny tiny. It looks like a little plug at the very end of it. It's all made of wood. I have this wardrobe that is also from a miniaturist artisan from Etsy who no longer does this, but I will put her link in the descriptions. And she made this wardrobe that is all men's items in it. So there's a bathrobe, there's a hat, a felt hat, some ties, and my grandpa was really into ties, so that's a neat memory for me too. And my dad wore ties, but my grandpa just had a lot of ties, and he really loved to dress up. And there's some shoes here, and there's actually a plaque in the back of this. It's kind of way back there with some books. Here's a thing that you take your shoes off with. Shoe horn, I think it was called. It's funny how you forget the names for things when you haven't seen them for a while. And a briefcase and a photograph up here. And it looks like a bow tie here, and a silk scarf, and another scarf. First of all, I'll show you the saddle shoes I have that are on a newspaper, and there's a little brush with it too, and it's just setting like this. And the shoe shine things are in this box. There's polish, if you can see that very well. There's some polish. And then some more of these paste things, or polishes, waxes, whatever you call them. And this is neat because it's a sea foam sponge. And then the brush that you would use, the wooden brush with the bristles to shine the shoes. And then I also have a bottle of Jack Daniels. And I have a table here that's going to go by the bed. And on the table, I'm going to put this cute little alarm clock. And the bottle of whiskey is going to go by the smoking table. I do have a little glass of wine here I'm going to put on the nightstand. And then with the shoe shine kit, I also have this. It's just a few more things in a tote that is with shoe shine type items, like the brush here. And then I found this dog on eBay. I thought it was so cute. So I'll put this by the shoes, the saddle shoes, like he's got another pair of shoes and he's having a good old time chewing them up. Now you're probably wondering, is there a woman that lives in this house? Well, there is. And she doesn't have a wardrobe to be seen. I'll just pretend she has all of her things in a closet. But she does have a little vanity here. That's a long mirror. And some really pretty items on here, like hat pins. And some powder, a comb for her hair, a scarf, some more purses that are on chains, and just a lacy scarf here, and a little piece of lace coming out of here. Now the lady that made this, and sadly she has passed away. She and the same lady that did the club chair made this bed, and it's a double bed. And then I also have this really nice framed photo of this framed faux painting of these little kittens in this gold gilded frame. And this fan to keep them cool in the hot summer, since of course back then they didn't have air conditioning, and with this neat plug in the back, wire and a plug. The bedspread on it is kind of neat because it is the same material as the curtains in there. But I actually found the bedspread on eBay, and the lady that made the curtains just happened to have this material to do the curtains with, to match the bedspread. And this pillow is really pretty, and it has the beads in it, so it feels authentic and real. And what else is neat about this bed is the mattress and the headboard, and it looks very antiqued. So now I'll show you everything in the room. And then I decided to put this painting on the attic instead, because there was no room in that room. And the next rooms I'm going to show you are going to be the living room and the bathroom and the dining room. So I hope you come back and see those 3 videos when I have them up. Thanks so much for watching.